got Blez here at the Burbank Card Show. What up?
This is something that every card show runner should take note of. We have 4 buyers. Burbank Sports Cards is putting on this show. If you walk into the room with any card, they will be buying it. They're providing liquidity to the entire show floor. People are coming to sell their cards, and what are they going to do? They're going to go on the floor, and they're going to spend that money. Every card show promoter, take notes. Rob is a genius.
All right, before I go any further with this video, I do want to disclaim that I love Rob and Burbank. I think what he does and what that shop does out in Burbank, California is fantastic for the hobby. Something that I'm very jealous of and something that I hope to become one day. I know he's been doing his shop for 30, 40 years, so he's in a much bigger, better, and more experienced situation than I am. Hopefully, 20, 30, 40 years from now, hopefully sooner, I'm in a similar position to what Rob is in right now with Burbank. So I just want to make you guys know that this isn't a hate video about Burbank, about Rob, none of that. I love the guy. I've never met him. I've never been to the store. Something that I wish to do in the very near future is obviously to go to Burbank Sports Cards and, of course, meet Rob and just experience the Burbank experience, right? The happiest place in the hobby. So I just want to get that out of the way. I don't want no one to think that this is a hate video towards that. I just want to talk about that clip, how Burbank provides liquidity for the hobby, and they do, clearly. But when I watch a video like that, and from my experiences here at shows in the area, in the New England area, Rhode Island, whatever, do people actually spend cash from the cards that they sell? And what I mean by that is I'll oftentimes see people come into the shop or approach me at a show asking if I'm buying. And obviously, it's not my business. I don't care what they do with the money. But how do I know that that money is going to be put back into the hobby? Because if someone could guarantee me, hey, I'm going to take this $200 and I'm going to go spend it on 10 slabs, let's just say, or 10 cards, that's great. Money in, money out, rinse and repeat. Hopefully you profit along the way. But just from the experience that I have here at the shop, at shows in the area, that's not a real certain. That's not a real certain, especially with a bunch of different things going on in society right now, which I'll get to in a little bit. People oftentimes want to sell cards for what they bought it for, although the market's drastically changed. And people are trying to cut their losses and just, they know what they spent on a card, so they're trying to sell it for that, even though the market is down 10, 20, 30, 40% of whatever that card was bought for compared to now, today. So there's a huge discrepancy right there. A lot of people want to sell cards to just get out of it because they lost faith in their investment and it's not panning out, whatever. And they still want to try to sell it for what they bought it for so they don't lose money. But oftentimes you might just have to bite the bullet and take an L on some players, on some cards. Now, I kind of mentioned the inflation and economic problems that the society is facing, and that is absolutely real. Inflation's through the roof. Economic problems in society have increased over the past couple of years. Ever since the boom of sports cards in 2020, that's kind of fizzled out in the past year or so. And obviously with the Ukrainian war and now, the war in the Middle East with Israel, it's just a very difficult time right now for people to buy food and groceries, to just put, eggs on the table. The prices of that have gone up, bread's gone up. I mean, the prices of a ton of things, gas has increased. So there are real world issues outside of sports cards in the hobby that people need to prioritize over sports cards, because this hobby is a want, not a need. Getting milk, getting gas, eggs, food, paying your electric bill, all that stuff are needs. You need that to survive. You need that to live, to have a roof over your head. You need all that. Do you really need a PSA 10? Do you really need that RPA card? No, it's a want. So inflation and economic problems are real for people, hence why people are trying to sell their cards. And a lot of people have left the hobby for that reason. So it brings me to ask the question, is real cash being put into the hobby? A lot of people will say yes. A lot of people will say no. like I mentioned, a lot of people have left the hobby for various reasons, whether it's economic situations, whether it's inflation, they lost love for it, COVID money dried up. And what I've noticed is a lot of casuals have weeded out. Maybe some kids went through a phase and they're out. Adults went through a phase, they're out. Maybe people lost so much money that they were just sick of it. They were done with it. People may have lost love. Maybe things have changed in their life, whether they moved or maybe had kids or, whatever the issue is or whatever the situation is for people. Is real cash being put into the hobby even with a lot of people leaving? And for me, in my experience, it's hard to say. Do people actually still spend cash from the cards that they sell? Are people still putting money into the hobby? So again, when I look at that video that Burbank is providing liquidity, of course, someone in my position is able to do that, not at the scale that they're doing it, but someone like me who wants to do that, I want to make sure what I'm giving you is recycled back into the hobby because that's just my core belief. I want to buy cards off of people, and those people are going to go buy cards themselves. And of course, that's not always going to be the case. However, that's just my philosophy and my line of thinking. I think, Burbank is in a position where go do whatever the hell you want with the money. It doesn't matter to us. We want the cards because we want to sell them. And you see their content on Instagram. They're posting tons of videos a day with all these cards and all their pickups, all the they have different new arrival cases for different days of the week. It's crazy. I love what they're doing, and that's why I want to go out there and experience it. But again, maybe being in Southern California compared to Rhode Island and Southeastern New England, completely different markets. But it's like, I don't know. It's just a really, really interesting video to see, knowing that what's going on out there is nowhere close to what's happening out here. And I kind of want to know why. I have hunches, I have feelings, I have beliefs. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Am I just, speaking nonsense, or am I actually making some sense? Do I have points that are, do I have good points that I've made, or the points that I make kind of suck and that are just, again, nonsense, garbage? So let me know down in the comment section below. I definitely want to engage with you guys in this topic of discussion because it is a discussion that needs to be had, I truly believe. But again, you heard my thoughts. I want to hear yours. And if you enjoyed this video, which I do believe you did, I've queued up an excellent video right there for you guys that I do believe is going to be excellent for your hobby endeavors. Hopefully, I'll see you in that one.